What's up, y'all? It's your boy X. I'm gonna turn the light on in a minute after I turn this corner here. Just driving, y'all. Epiphany after epiphany. So had this major epiphany, get some good information. One thing leads to another, and here it comes. Ooh, yay. Lights. A well-lit area. That's what I'm talking about. But basically, whatever it is that we seem to chase, let me cut this off because I don't know if that's like affecting. Whatever it is that we seem to chase, it becomes, if you notice, it becomes more elusive for us to actually get, especially when it comes to love. And I can tell you right here, right now, speaking truly off of personal experiences, but speaking in love in fact, and you could apply this whether it's in finances or friendships or whatever area in your life, but speaking primarily on love because a lot of us are on the twin flame journey. And with that being said, one of the hardest things, which I mentioned in one of my readings, I can't remember whether it was Gemini, Leo, one of them, that one of the hardest things for us to do is to let go and let God. Throughout, the twin flame journey, we work on so much within ourselves to be able to get that romantic partner, to get that true, sincere, whole relationship that it is that we're longing for, that true unconditional love of, and the whole magical aspect of it is very tantalizing. So that's the carrot that God gave us to be able to push us on the twin flame journey in the first place. Now here's the plot twist. After that's the carrot. So picture yourself on a treadmill. It was 2:55. Picture yourself on a treadmill with that carrot in front of you, and you're just running on that treadmill because that's the goal. Is to eventually be able to get to that carrot. The treadmill starts slowing down to a gradual stop, and you grab the carrot. Not just mid stop, because if you run on the treadmill, for those of you who do work out, if it just stops, you're going to just completely launch forward, and then you're going to bypass it. So you have to gradually ground yourself back down in. So take that as gradually grounding ourselves back down in the present, in the here and the now, with an accumulation of all the lessons, all the transformations, all the experiences that we have gone through before the journey, your spiritual awakening started, and going through it as well to the point where you're able to actually slow down and grab the carrot without bypassing it, and causing more harm and more damage, because then you're just going to miss it, and you end up having to backtrack, and you're going to be all hurt flying off the treadmill and things. We don't want to go through all that. But it's really getting in tune with ourselves and being able to have a sense of control when it does come to love or career or finances or whatever that essential carrot is for you. Like I said, you can apply this in many aspects, because we're all on different stages in our own transformations and in our own journeys, personally, on a personal level. But when it does, but I am going to speak primarily on love itself. Now, that is the carrot. The plot twist is applying everything that we learned and able to actually truly get to that carrot, to actually really get to that carrot, which then in turns means letting go and letting God when it does come to love, when it does come to your heart. Because if we just continue to keep on growing, transforming, having spiritual awakenings, epiphanies, and things of that. Now, can that carrot get you to that point? Yes. Now, after that, we kind of have to, at that point, not hold on to that love, because when to that wanting or that longing of wanting to be in that magical relationship, because the more we hold on to it, we're just holding on to that energy, we're not actually releasing it out. If you're just holding on to all that energy, it's not going to come back to you, because what we put out essentially comes back out to us. So it's something that Sal from Eat.Read.Love says all the time. You're supposed to release love. You can't just hold on to it, because when you release it, that's what you're going to get back. So it's truly letting go and letting God with your heart, with knowing that Spirit, Source, Gaia, God has what it is that you truly want at the end of your journey, and has your back and is going to guide you in the path of whatever that you need to do. Now, there may not be, a direct outline or steps necessarily to go about it. It's literally walking by faith and not by sight. It's literally just having complete blind faith in, because a lot of us on the twin flame journey, that's like the main, that's that's the treasure, and it's really letting go and letting God, and like, what, trusting and truly trusting and having faith in God, in spirit, in the universe, in source, that we're going to get there. Even though, I can speak from, personal experience, because love is something that I do truly, truly value and hold dear to my heart. Especially, and I know it's like, oh, I don't really want to hear that or anything. Um, but we have to take in account of our perspective as well. Yeah, it might not be anything that we necessarily want to hear, that we necessarily want to do, but do we necessarily want to hear or do, I mean, honestly, any of this? Like, before we were ready to actually take that plunge on the spiritual journey, if somebody was to come and tell you about all this, would you no, we wouldn't have been ready, we wouldn't have been prepared for it. So if that's like the component that you're truly longing for and wanting for, we truly have to release it and just let go and let God, and not try to do anything within our own power to try to manifest that. Because are we going to manifest a partner? Yeah. It's not saying that, we won't, but it's not going to be that divine partner, that twin flame, or that soulmate that we truly long for. We're going to attract what we are putting out, which is somebody else that truly just, I don't want to say desperately, but desperately wants to be in a relationship, which then can end up going back and forming codependency and everything else, and either keeping us at that vibrational level that we are, or and being like stagnant, so to speak, or end up kind of walking backwards and undoing everything that we work so hard to get. It could go either way. Now, if that's what you want, that's what you want. you know by all means, there is no, we can't necessarily make any mistakes in our life. The only mistakes that we can truly make is not taking heed to a lesson or an experience and allowing that to transform, whatever aspect in our life to make us better people, better souls, better humans, and raising our vibration. That's the only quote unquote mistake we can make is doing that. Is to keep going through the same stuff over and over and over again. Which when it does come to love, that is very, very hard. I can say, that's something that I'm actually transforming right here, right now within myself. Like, man, I really didn't think of it in that way. I didn't think of it like that. And because it's hard to take, I guess, which a lot of us, we all do it. It is hard to take our own advice. We can see stuff objectively, and when it comes to somebody else, because it's not on that personal emotional level to ourselves. But when it does come to ourselves, it is a little bit harder to take our own advice, which essentially, walking your talk, practicing what it is that you preach. And we could think that, okay, well, I am letting go, but then you think that, okay, what I am like doing this, I am doing that, I am like doing this to be able to get that relationship, regardless of what it is. Changing how you present yourself, just any old thing. And we end up attracting the same vibration level that we all are on. Even if you're in a lower vibration, you're going to attract a lower vibration. If you're in medium vibration, you're going to attract a medium vibration. If you're in a high vibration, you're going to attract that. It's the law of attraction. Energy is literally a boomerang. What we throw out there is what's going to come right back around. So when it does come to love, it's like, to be able to truly get it, we have to truly just live within ourselves and embrace us and do what we need and want to do solely for us. And going down the spiritual path, at first we have to let go of the I aspect of it. So it kind of seems like, okay, well, isn't that kind of going backwards? Going back to like that ego, so to speak, but it's not necessarily an ego. It's living your life for you, for your highest good, for what it is that you want to do. And then you're going to attract somebody that's doing the same thing, and you're just going to click. There is divine timing, there is divine work at play. Like, my heart chakra is like, it's weird, it's different. Like, during the process, like, I'm not going to sit here and lie, like, to truly explain it, what I was feeling internally as I was receiving the message I was receiving coming in through my support team. And it makes your heart it feels similar to releasing a heartbreak, but it's a heartbreak within ourselves. It kind of feels like a death, so to speak, but not as heavy. It feels half like a death, but it feels half like light. Like, your heart chakra is literally like, to really try to put this in words, it is literally like split in half in a way. Like, it hurts, but it doesn't. So that's the death of the ego, of the heart, that is dying, that is transforming. But you feel like this coolness, which is the light coming in and healing that part of you that is dying and transforming, and replacing it with a higher vibration, with a higher emotional feeling. Now, are you going to, because I can sit up here and say right now, am I feeling that higherness right now? No, I'm still really sitting here like, well, damn. Well, damn. you know, but it doesn't feel bad. All I can say is it's different, which makes it seem a little uneasy, unsteady, because it is different. It is new. Things that are new, that are different, give us a sense of anxiousness and fear just a little bit, because the I mean, which is completely understandable, saying, oh, okay, well, I truly don't have any control over my love life. I'm literally going to just let go and let God, and not try to, if I wear what I want to wear, I'm not wearing it to like, oh, well, somebody else is going to think that I look good, so that's what I'm going to put on. Like, no, it should be for you. Now, by all means, it's perfect. It's a time and place for everything. So if you go into somewhere and, you're supposed to dress formally, I'm not saying go out there wearing jogging pants. You got to, but essentially do it for you, and not for the, not to please the other people or your surrounding environment. Like, if you want to wear a three-piece suit and everybody just wants to wear, a shirt with a button up, a nice button up shirt with a jacket, or a sundress, but you want to wear a little bit. Okay, what's next up from a sundress? Like I won't say a ball gown, but like evening gown attire. Work with me. I wear suits. Then wear your evening gown attire. Just because everybody else is gonna be there in sundress. In sundresses, you're not going too over, beyond and overboard, but you you're doing what makes you feel good. And that's the same way that we have to go about it when it comes to love. We have to do what is essentially needed for us, solely for us, not to gain anything. We didn't been through that, We didn't done all this transformation and growth, and becoming more aware, more in tuned, and because that was that carrot, that was that sense of motivation. Now, to truly attract that divine counterpart, that soulmate, that life partner that is destined for us, we then have to replace that carrot with from that relationship, and replace that carrot with ourselves, with our morals, our values, our principles, our code of life, so to speak, that we truly live by, or want to live by and embrace, the things that we hold, most dear to us. Like I was doing a reading earlier, for Pisces, and it's basically, and I spoke a little bit on morals and values, and those principles, and it's even, I brought up the song by Kendrick Lamar from the Black Panther soundtrack, um, "Pray for Me," and the one part that The Weeknd said in the chorus is, even even if even if I lose my faith, I live by my own law. So even if it is that you lose your faith, even if it is that, you don't necessarily fully, completely trust, like, okay, I say I'm going to let go and let God and let Him, have divine timing within my life when it comes to a romantic partner. But even if you can't fully embrace that as of yet, you live by your own law. What are your own laws? Okay, well, those are, basic principles, or your ethics, or your morals, or your values. Like, for instance, to give an example of mine, it's love is one. Um, Protection, compassion. I just listed them all yesterday. Like, love, compassion, protection, empathy, no, purpose, and God. because empathy goes in with compassion. I was switching those two around. So for me, a purpose in life, having a purpose in life is very, very important, because without a purpose, if for those who read philosophy, or even if you look at any movie, any TV show, having a sense of purpose, a reason for being here, sparks life within anyone. You know, we're just out here walking around like literally living to die. We're like mayflies. We're not mayflies. You know, we have souls. We're here to do something, and something that's not just for the highest good of all, but for yourself as well. Because when you truly do what it is that you love, it does not feel like work. And I'm a big believer in that. You know, if you're at a job and it's just draining and it's literally, you feel like it's sucking life force out of you, you know, by all means, you know, you have to pay your bills, you know, keep doing what it is that you have to do, but then also look for what is most fulfilling of you. And if you can turn that into a job, if or a career path, even if it's not something that is common, you know, especially based off of the matrixical society that we do live in, you know, be spontaneous, do something new. You know, we didn't have stoplights at one point in time. They thought that was, you know, weird at one point in time. But, you know, do that. God, of course, or, you know, spirit, source, universe, Gaia, whatever it is that you truly believe in. We need something to believe in. We need something to motivate us, something that we believe is bigger than us, that is out there, that we can call on to have that support. Even if we do feel alone and in hard times and we look around, there's nobody physically around in the 3D that we can count on, that we can lean on. We essentially need that. We need something that does stem our basic beliefs and that can always ground us, because no matter how many times you turn away from God or spirit or source like God, he's it's never going to leave. It's always there. You can always come back. You know, there's never an abandonment when it comes to that, and that gives us a sense of peace. Love is beautiful. It's amazing, and I'm not just talking about love in a romantic aspect, because as you all know, I am a hopeful romantic. I'm big on romanticism, and it's not just like those spectacular dates with a bazillion roses. Like, no, romance can be just sitting with somebody and you're reading a book and they reading a book and you're just chilling in silence. That could be very romantic. Or just spending regular QT time alone, doing a normal task like grocery shopping, but just having, you know, conversations that just bring a sense of companionship or togetherness about it, and making something that's very mundane and routine, that could be very boring or daunting, and turn it into something more than that. You know, a picnic, walk in the park, exercising, cooking, cleaning. You know, everybody cleaning and jamming to some music and reminiscing over memories and childhood memories and sharing those and things of that. But also love in the aspect of just love. God is love. Universe is love. Spirit is love. Gaia is love. You know, love works in tangent with everything around it and everyone that's in it, and it encompasses all. It's completely cohesive. You know, love for basic humanity, even those who, you know, we might have different opinions or mindsets or goals or objectives, and still loving, you know, that person. You could love somebody from afar and be like, yeah, you know what, the energy just ain't on my level. But it don't mean I hate you. It don't mean we all have free will. We have our prejudices, so to speak. That was another thing that, you know, I did come across, you know, learning through my life experiences. We are allowed to have our prejudices. Like, if you get up and you look in your closet and you're like, you know what, I don't like nothing black today, I want to wear blue. you had a prejudice against you. Okay, let me not use black. I want nothing red today. I want to wear blue. You had a prejudice against the red colors in your closet. You know, you just wasn't feeling it for whatever reason. You're like, yeah, you know what, red seems offensive today. It just seems too strong. I'm gonna go with blue. You know, you that's what that is. But not going too far into we talk about society and things of that nature. That's a whole nother can of worms there. But it's not treating anybody less than or lower than, or treating those clothes like you're not going to go through and destroy all your red clothes because you choose to wear blue for the next 4 or 5 months. You know, it's just not your preference. We are allowed to have preferences without putting whatever is in opposition to that preference down. So it's just having basic love for humanity and just loving people for who they are in their authentic truths. Just like you live your authentic truths, you know, and expect for people to treat, you know, you with respect and love and compassion and fairness and kindness, you know, do unto others as you want done unto yourself. It's the same thing. Oh shoot, what was, see, now it went off. What was my other one? I said purpose, God, love, and compassion, and having that compassion, you know, to be in to really have compassion for something or someone or another perspective or another way of thought, or you know, there's like in sciences, it's the hard sciences versus the soft sciences, you know, psychology versus sociology, nature versus nurture. But it's also having that compassion too, even though if you're like, oh well, I'm big on nurturing, and you know how a child is raised is like most important and it has nothing to do with environmental factors, you know. But it's also having that compassion to understand like, oh, okay, but I do see how somebody else who is, you know, who do value the nurturing science or the nature science, like, no, it's the environment, and regardless of how a kid was raised or brought up, you know, their environment is what shapes them, and because they have this and could do this and do that, it's having that compassion to understand like, hey, well, you know what, I might not, that might not be in alignment for me, but I understand that, I get that, I see where it is that you're coming from. Being able to put the shoe on the other foot, like, oh, if I had that that mindset or those experiences, I would feel the same way too, I would be in alignment with that too. And that gives you a sense of truly in embracing everything within the world. Because if everything was essentially the same, it would be boring. I mean, let's just face it, it would be very boring. We wouldn't have the selections and choices that we do have. And we wouldn't have the world as it is. The world is so amazing because of everything that's different. Because of everything that's different. But it's having those core values, those beliefs, those ethics, that you know, integrity, loyalty, duty, respect, honesty, personal courage, self-esteem, motivation, uh, you know, respect, common courtesy, whatever the case may be. And even though you may not have that faith, you may lose it every now and then, it's still something that grounds you within yourself to then bring you back and be like, you know what, yes, you know, essentially this is for me. This is even that divine love is essentially still for you. So you are manifesting it, because when you think about it, it's like, okay, well, if I'm trying to manifest something and me not doing anything about it, wouldn't that work against the manifestation process? No, because it's being released. You know, that's the energy that you're putting out. If you're holding on to it, it's not going out. It's just staying within you. It's just chilling. So you're always going to have that longingness. Even if something does come your way, you're still going to have that longingness because you're holding on to it. You never fully, you know, released it out. So it's still a part of you feeling some sort of lack. But when we make ourselves whole and complete and do everything for ourselves, and then we come across another person and in the same, or another soul in the same vibrational frequency, there is no codependent attachment. There is no, sense of lack or longing, because you're filling your own cups even within that relationship. And because your cup is filled, you have water or substance within that cup to give to another, and vice versa. If your cup is only halfway full and their cup is halfway full, somebody gonna end up with an empty cup. Somebody gonna end up with an empty cup at some point in time in one aspect of the relationship or another. So it's not getting to that point, because when an empty cup, then that just triggers. It triggers. Think about everything that it could possibly trigger. Think about every relationship that you did get out of. And I could say that it is something that's very hard, especially for someone, like, I could truly speak off a personal experience, always wanting to be, because I value love. I grew up on Disney movies, and I like watching The Notebook and A Walk to Remember, and oh my goodness, there's like so many different love stories, even Vampire Diaries, you know, Grey's Anatomy, we all want either that Grey and Derek relationship, but it's to be able to get to that, they were both surgeons and a surgeon in their own profession, and do what it is that they need to do. And when one of them was longing for something, it caused more chaos, more problems, more issues. Then they realized, okay, well, I have to do what's best for me, and you have to do what's best for you, but we can still come together and meet in the middle, because having that divine counterpart, having that soulmate, doesn't mean that you're going to give up your life for that person, or vice versa, which is what, in the 3D, what we are accustomed to, what we are programmed to believe, to see, to speak, and to go about that. Even in a marriage, when you legally get married, everything gets consolidated into one, like nothing is separate. Even the stuff that is separate, it's still all one. So it's like, oh, well, we have to become one, and it's not that. That person is there, and you're there to walk with each other along your separate paths. And it doesn't matter. Sometimes you might have to go left, and sometimes they have to go right, but you're gonna meet back in the middle. But you have that understanding and that trust and that security within yourself to be able to have that trust, understanding, and security within someone else. We can't have something in someone else that we don't have essentially within ourselves at first. So we have to get to that point. So completely, to wrap everything, completely full circle around, the things that we long for the most, we are essentially not coming to them and not being brought to them because we're still not ready. We're doing everything in order to gain that. And if you do everything in order to gain that, and once you get to the top, it's like, okay, well, once I get to the top, it's like, okay, well, okay, now you're at the top. Now what? Oh, well, I don't know. Right. You still have to keep going. There's still growth. There's still, now you got to go back down to the bottom, climb another mountain, go back down to another bottom, another bottom, and climb the other mountain. And it's not resting on your laurels or resting on the fact that, okay, well, I made that achievement, and just, okay, well, now you made that achievement. Now use that achievement to motivate you. Now you know that, hey, I can do that. I can get there. I can do this. I can have that. And I can manifest that. And not resting on that. It's like, oh, well, I already did this, or I already did that, and use that as a ego-based, higher vibrational motivation to keep going. Like, yeah, you know what, I did do that, so I can do this, and I could do that, and I can achieve that, and I can have this, and the relationship can be this way, the relationship can be that way. And it's that mind trick of ego, turning the ego from that encompassing of, oh, me to I can, or we can, for a higher vibrational purpose, for a sense of self motivation, not for bragging rights or to show off or have a trophy and walking around, all y'all get what I'm saying. And being inconsiderate. It's like, oh, well, I did this and you're nothing because you haven't done this, but I've done all of this. No, it's just for self-motivation. That's what our ego is essentially there for, is to motivate us, to push us forward, to give us that extra boost of endurance when we do need it, when we are dragging ass, or even from somebody else. Hey, there's tough love. Like, hey, I gotta call you on some stuff and give you a little bit of tough love. And it is hard to hear, but it's like, dang, okay, yeah, this person wasn't trying to be hard on me, wasn't trying to offend me, but they were trying to motivate me, to give me like, hey, you're better than that. You're better than that. I know you're better than that. You know your potential. I know your potential. We ain't about to have no half-ass and that stuff going on up over here. Get it? You know? And even if it takes you, a couple days or a week or a couple months, and be like, hey, yeah, that hurt my feelings back then, but you know what? You had my best intentions in view. You knew what I was capable of. You saw my potential, even though I was aware of it, but I couldn't see it or recognize it at that time. And that's that even plays back into not just romantic relationships, but family and friends and the people that we do surround ourselves in. Those people, if we have people in our environment and it's just a bunch of competition, everybody just trying to, dog eat dog world, nobody's motivating and uplifting anybody else because nothing's being done out of love and compassion. Is just out of selfishness. So it all ties into so many different factors, so many different aspects of life. That's why I say you could definitely apply this to anything. But at some point in time, we have to take that carrot off the treadmill and run on the treadmill for running on the treadmill, for something that it gives us personally within ourselves without any external compensation or achievement or sense of entitlement. We have to do it solely for ourselves, and we becoming empowered from what it is that we're running on that treadmill within ourselves. Because going out to the gym and working out, eventually, if you're trying to lose weight to gain somebody else or to fit into that dress for something outside of yourself, it's not easy for somebody to like lose weight or to gain weight to get to that point. Eventually, we're going to give up. But we have that motivation within ourselves to do it solely because it makes me feel good. It makes me happy. It makes me feel more complete, more whole. I enjoy being healthy. I actually enjoy exercising because it gives me something that I can't get anywhere else because it's formulating something within me, within myself. You're going to keep doing it. You're going to keep at it. Just like this whole, spiritual awakening and twin flame journey. And some people, get off of it. It's like, nah, hey, we all have free will. But it's giving you something personally. The fact that, you've been on it for as long as you have, or you've done it for so long as you have, or the reason why you do keep going. Yeah, that divine counterpart is one of the goals, but it should not be the end goal. The end goal should be for continuous growth, for continuous aspirations, for continuous potential, because we're never going to be at the end. Nobody's ever going to be so spiritual or also awakened that we're just perfect. Nobody. And it should be for that. We're never going to get to the end, and that's what makes life as beautiful a gift as it is, because there's always something to grow. There's always something to grow from. There's always something to learn. There's always something to aspire to. There's always that potential out there to do something, to become something. Every dream, every wish that you ever have wanted, yeah, some might outweigh others, but you still can accomplish all of them. And then once you get there, you're going to be inspired and come across new opportunities and new paths and new things to then go and have motivation and aspirations to do those things. And it just keeps going and keeps growing. You're not going to meet everybody in the world. Everybody views reality in a completely different way. And until you meet everybody in the world, even the babies, and get their perspective when they get older, there is no end game in growing. The only thing that knows all of that is God, Source, Gaia, Universe, Spirit, Allah, Buddha, whatever noun you want to use. And we ain't them. Yeah, we have a piece within them, or whether you believe, we're reincarnated beings of them embodying, but we lost all of that. We don't have all of that with us. So now we have to reacquire all of that through this life process, being here physically, tangibly, going through emotions and obstacles and things of that nature. But yeah, let go and let God is definitely a rebirth process within that. So even if your heart feels a little heavy and it feels like man, why do you have a heartache? That's your ego leaving your heart space, your heart chakra, in order to clear that energy out, to bring forth this energy that's coming in of surrender of your heart, which our hearts is something that we do hold most dear and most closest to us. That's where we put things and people and places and memories that truly have a big impact on us. So then to release that to Spirit, Source, Gaia, and the divine, yeah, that's a big step. And it's going to be, a little uncomfortable. But as time goes on, just like with anything else, before you know it, you're going to be just walking your own path, not even, and then you're going to end up bumping into your divine counterpart, or whatever takes place, or I don't know. Whatever happens is going to happen, all in divine timing. Before you know it, divine timing will be here like that. It's kind of like, on your way to a trip, and when you going, to Disneyland, it takes forever. I don't care if you live 5 minutes around the corner. It feels like it took an hour to get in there. But then on the way back, because you don't have all that anxiousness and excitement, like, oh my God, I just want to get there. I just want to get there so I can do this and this and this and this and this and this. You get home in like 2 minutes. In like 2 minutes. So yeah, it's different, it's new, it's a different feeling. But just like in the song Matrimony by Wale, that Seinfeld was saying, it's growth. You're never going to be prepared for growth. It's new, it's different. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. And yeah, nice talking to you. Peace, chill, and hair grease.